We are back, and the doom spiral continues for the Democrats. We go to Polymarket. We always preface Polymarket, it's not perfect. A 19.9, essentially a 20-point lead for Donald Trump, and it doesn't stop there. You've got Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania all over 10 points. Arizona, in fact, what is that, 38 points? Michigan is a Trump lean on Polymarket again. Please don't take betting markets as the be-all and end-all of the election. Michigan was probably at 60% at one point to Democrats. It flip-flops. It does this. But we are closer to the election than ever. We're always getting closer to it. And Michigan is red on the map. Pennsylvania wasn't even red on the map until recently. That is now 18 points. Again, this is not polling, so this is very different. But Michigan is 12 percentage points. Wisconsin, he leads by 8. If he's leading in the chances before the election, he's probably going to win. We talk about the polling in Wisconsin. If he's leading, if he's even close in the polling, it's over in Wisconsin. And then we've got Nevada. Now he leads in Nevada. They're tied, but it says lead next to his name, so he's leading. He leads all 7 swing states. Unbelievable. And we did say this could happen. And we see the margin expanding again. He leads all of the states. He's getting closer in the popular vote. But we could look at the presidential forecast over the last week. And obviously Harris has been on Fox. She's been on Breakfast Club. She's been basically going out there and trying to say, no, I can handle the questions. And then she goes and makes a fool of herself, just like she did with Brent Baer. It was a brilliant interview. I thought they may be a little bit lenient on her, but Fox went for the throat. And Fox have been going for the throat this election. Sometimes they're a bit soft, but they were the first. They weren't the ones to really figure this out, but they were the first ones to push the basement narrative that they didn't do in 2020. They didn't push it hard enough. This election cycle, they're pushing it. They're saying, this is how many days it's been since she's done an interview, or this is how many days it's been since she's been the nominee and not done an interview. And they kept pushing that, and then she had to do an interview, and it was a complete failure. And then they had the debate she did quite well, but reflecting on the debate, she came across very robotic. Joe Biden at least had a bit of character to him. Hillary Clinton, and that's very little character, but at least he had, there was something there. She was just a human reading, or a robot rather, reading a script inputted into her system. There was no passion, no humanity to it. Hillary Clinton in 2016, she'd crack a joke or something, there was a little bit more character there. Kamala Harris was just nowhere in that debate. I know, we were talking about the debate a month and a half later, but I just reflecting on it, I was like, that was just ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. Donald Trump is, for the first time, or no, he did get there yesterday, but he's now at 60%. This is unprecedented. This is Joe Biden territory, and I wonder what the 0.1% left is. Maybe that's Jill Stein. But anyway, Donald Trump leads by 20 points in the presidential race at the moment on Polymarket. Now we can get to what really matters, and that's the polling. So we have the 7 swing states, and if you were to use logic, Trump essentially is winning all of them. But we can go state by state. We can analyze each state. What I do want to go over is all the polls, just in case we have some other states that have come in. We have Washington, which is 22 points. I think that's slightly high. But again, when you factor in that when you're winning by such a big margin, you're less likely to turn out in these polls. So, and the polls always appear closer than they actually are. So, in theory, this margin's even bigger than 22, but obviously polling tends to favour Democrats, and there's so many different aspects to it. California's at 24. That sounds about right. I think we had it at 22 in our margins video, and that's from Emerson as well. That sounds about right. Utah's at 16. Of course, Utah pretty much a rhino state at this point, but still a big lead for Donald Trump. He's not in jeopardy there by any means. And then you have, although the liberal channels, which for some reason, and it makes no sense, they put likely margins as under 15. Under 15 is not likely. Under 10 is likely, because then you say, okay, could there be a 10-point error? Most likely not, but, you can't say 100%. Which, actually, on Polymarket, one of the states is 100% now. I'm not sure which one it is, but one of them is... It was North Dakota, or South Dakota. Yes, 100% to Donald Trump. That means there is no chance of Harris winning. Of course there's no chance, but, in a world where, let's say, Donald Trump is killed and J.D. Vance is not on the ticket for some reason, and Mike Johnson's currently the nominee, and, they're still saying that there's no chance Harris wins. So, anyway, we can go to, where were we? Massachusetts. Let's go to Massachusetts. It is a 26-point lead for Harris in the five-way race, or the four-way race. 26-point lead, that sounds about right. I think we determined Massachusetts was going to be the biggest of the Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts trio. Going to be the biggest margin there, so that's no surprise. And then we have national polls that we can go over. We'll go over all the national polls in a minute. Texas +5 for Trump. That's University of Houston, so it's going to sort of tilt left, lean left. Then you've got North Carolina at +5. We'll get into each individual state. We'll start with the national. Again, the national polls don't matter if it's based on Electoral College. But we have Pew Research Group, which has Harris +1. This is start of October. Harris +1's not enough. Harris needs to win. Joe Biden won the popular vote by 4, and he won the election by 40,000 votes across 3 states. So in theory, she could get 4 points and still lose. She's probably going to need at least over... We said the margin was 2.8. If she's over 2.8 in this average, then, maybe it is really close. But, again, it all depends on the California numbers or the Florida numbers or the Texas numbers. Of course, Florida getting redder, that's going to expand the margin. But anyway, as a rough estimate, 2.8 seems about right, considering it was 4 last time and Joe Biden could have lost with 4% of the popular vote. 4% lead, that is. Yahoo has a tie, NBC tie. CBS have Harris +3, which, might be enough. TIPP has Harris +4, which would most likely be enough. Morning Consult, again, one of the most left-leaning pollsters, has Harris +4. Then we have Harvard Harris, which is not affiliated with Harris. It has +2 to Harris. We have Reuters and Ipsos, which have Harris +3. That would give her the win. Again, a lot of these are objective, to be fair, objective pollsters. But again, the last few days, really, it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the polling, because she has been struggling. Rasmussen has Trump +1, which, of course, it's Rasmussen, the most right pollster. But they were more accurate than a lot of the objective pollsters, but that is obviously because Donald Trump just massively overperformed, as he did in 2016. Will he do it again? Well, they learned their lesson once, and then the underestimations of Donald Trump weren't as bad in 2020, but they were still quite bad. So we'll see how it shakes out this time. Marist has Harris +5, again, one of the most liberal pollsters. We have Marquette, and then we have Fox News, Trump +2. Now, keep in mind that Fox News' polling firm, which is Beacon and Shaw, it's Democrat and Rhino Republican, like Mitt Romney type guy, never Trump guy. So you have to understand that Fox's pollster is left-leaning. Not the company, of course, is right-leaning, but the pollster is left-leaning. So you have to keep that in mind. Trump +2 in that poll. Again, it is Fox News, so of course we know the pollster's left-leaning, but you can't be 100%. They've got Trump up by 2. We're not going to get too excited about that one. It's not like a Marist has put Trump up by 2 or a Quinnipiac like they did a few weeks ago. So anyway, Donald Trump is within the margin he needs. He's probably a whole point within the margin he needs. He leads the battleground states, but again, it depends which battleground states you're leading. Not if you're leading all of them. Not if you're leading all of them. We can go to Pennsylvania now. Actually, we'll fill in the map first. So again, we have the same states as usual. I wonder what Hawaii's margin is. I want to see if that underruns California or not. this time around. But we have the states over here. We have Maine, New York, and Illinois, and Minnesota, and Nebraska's 2nd District, and Virginia. Then for Republicans, of course, we have all of these states where a likely margin is 10 points. It's not 15. So a Louisiana is not going to be likely. It's going to be safe because it's like 14 points. It's not even close. You can't call that. Like Ohio is safe because it's probably over 10 points. Maybe it's not, but most likely it is. I don't understand these people that put. Anyway, that's debate for another time. We have 93 electoral votes in the toss-up, and we're going to go state by state. Trump leads by 3 in the Pennsylvania aggregate. Now, what is going to happen? This Bloomberg poll is going to drop out, and so we need to analyse, is this, and Trump's going to have a big lead when that drops out, we need to analyse, is this lead real? Okay, Fox News has it at a tie, that's fine. Atlas Intel, who were the best, we talk about this all the time, they were the best pollster last time, they have Trump +3, although their polling this time was completely outlier from everyone else. GSG has it at a tie. Trafalgar, of course Republican, has Trump +3. Wall Street Journal, Trump +1. Not very Trump friendly. They have Trump +1. Quinnipiac, Harris +2. Most left-leaning pollster. That makes sense. Insider Advantage, Trump +2. Emerson, Trump +1. These are objective pollsters. TIPP, Trump +1. And we said about this with North Carolina, actually. You'd rather be winning each state by 1 to 2 points rather than, in Nevada, we talk about this a lot, where you've got this 6-point poll that's giving you a lead. It's not real. So you really don't want that. But this is better for Donald Trump. This is a sustainable lead. He is behind in New York Times Siena, which, again, left-leaning, and Rasmussen has him +3, which, of course, right-leaning. They kind of cancel each other out. So when this Bloomberg one drops out, this is a real lead for Donald Trump, and he's winning each poll by 1 to 2 points. Pennsylvania is now in lean territory for Donald Trump. It is no longer a tilt. That is a big call, but I'm saying Pennsylvania is leaning to Donald Trump, and that is a big one given the rest of the states we're going to look at. So we have, let's go to Nevada next. This is probably the most Democrat state at the moment. So just like I said in the Pennsylvania one, if you're leading each poll by 1 to 2, it's probably better at this stage. And the national poll's actually just gone down to 1.6 as we've been talking, so that's incredible. But anyway, Trump's leading in Nevada, technically, but it's this one Wall Street Journal poll that is way out, and it's only 92% reporting. It's so wrong. Emerson has her up by 1. Even Trafalgar has her up by 1. Insider Advantage has Trump up by 1. But then TIPP, GSG, they both have Harris leading by 1. So I'm going to say Harris is leading Nevada. And I'd probably, again, Trump usually gets, it's probably the only state that overestimates Donald Trump, Nevada. So we saw in 2016 he was leading some polls, and Hillary Clinton, of course, won. So Nevada, it's probably around 1 point at the moment to Harris, but you take into consideration that Trump often gets overestimated in Nevada, then you give it to Harris on a lean. So then we have Michigan, which is one that's come out of nowhere as a big Trump lead. But is it real? Well, let's see. New York Times Siena has Harris +1. We heard about the Muslim vote, and it didn't really change the polling, and maybe that's just like a lag, and now we're seeing it. Of course, the Muslim vote is only like 40,000 people, so it's not, the be-all and end-all, but it can decide the state. New York Times Siena has Harris +1. This is middle of September stuff. GSG has Trump +2. Trafalgar, of course, has Trump +2. Detroit Free Press has Trump +1. Wall Street Journal, again, has Harris +2. Quinnipiac has Trump +4. Now, the question is, and I've seen a lot of people theorizing about this, did Quinnipiac put the poll in there just to mess with the numbers, inflate the numbers, get Republicans to not turn out? And I don't think so. I really just think that's, you're talking yourself, you're thinking about it too much. You just need to get out of your head. They probably just got a poll, the Trump lead, that they couldn't tamper with, which they tend to do. Anyway, Emerson, tie. Insider advantage, Trump +2. And Fabrizio, and again, Emerson usually quite conservative in terms of, not conservative ideologically, as in they don't like to, when a state's kind of swinging or in the process of moving another direction, Emerson tend to just go tie and, not really give us a result. Insider advantage, Trump +2, and Fabrizio, Trump +1. So, what can we determine out of Michigan? It's a bit all over the place, but at large, Trump's got some good objective pollsters giving him a good result. GSG with a 2. Again, I don't know too much about GSG, but Detroit Free Press, which tend to be quite accurate, Trump +1. Emerson has it at a tie, which probably means it's swinging towards Trump. And then Insider Advantage has Trump +2. And Fabrizio, which tends to be a little bit right-leaning, as Trump +1. So, I'd probably say Michigan is a tilt. It's certainly not a lean, and it's probably a toss-up. But, of course, we're not going to not give a result. We give you the results here, and we're going to go Michigan tie. So, Michigan tie. Michigan tilt to Republicans. So, we're at 253 to 232. Now we can go to our next state, which is going to be Wisconsin. We're going to go to Wisconsin next. So, a lot of ties recently. Again, when a state is in the process of swinging in the polls, a lot of pollsters are scared to give you a result. So, Quinnipiac gave us a +2 for Trump in Wisconsin, which is unbelievable. We know Wisconsin polling is atrocious, and it usually goes majorly against Trump. Marquette +4 to Harris. This was in the middle of September with the debate fresh in the minds of many. Atlas, Trump +2. Well, Trump can't be leading by 2, and then Quinnipiac put out a +2 not too long after. So, New York Times, Siena had Harris +2, GSG had Harris +2, and Trafalgar have Trump +1, because of course they do. And then Emerson has a tie, Wall Street Journal tie, Liberals, they have it as a tie, and Insider Advantage tie. So, what can we deduce from this? We can deduce that Trump is winning Wisconsin by a lean margin, because the polls are probably going to be off by 2 points or so. That's just a rough estimate. It could be 3, it could be 4, it could be 5. I don't think it's going to be any lower than 2, is the point. And it's essentially a tie right now. He's probably going to win by over a point, and that would mean lean. So, we're at 263 to 232, and what you will notice is the remaining 3 states are very Republican. So, you can understand where this is going. Arizona, we can look at the polls. Trump lost this poll. I don't even know what this is. Probably a local one. Fabrizio has Trump +2. Insider Advantage, Trump +1. This is a good poll. This is a poll you want. Wall Street Journal, Harris +2. Again, Liberal. Emerson, Trump +2. This is another poll you want. New York Times, Siena, Trump +5. I mean, that's inflating the numbers because it's a Liberal pollster. Again, Liberal pollsters coming in with like radical right numbers. And then Trafalgar, Trump +2. So, again, Arizona, it's not moving. It's leaning. It's leaning to Republicans. And then we can go to North Carolina. NOCA. We have... this is exactly what you want, like we said. He's leading East Carolina University by 2. GSG by 1. Washington Post by 2. Emerson leads by 1. This is a really good poll. Insider Advantage leads by 1. This is another really good poll. And at 99% as well. That's really good. Wall Street Journal has it a tie. Emerson +1. This is what you want. Trafalgar +2. Sure. Rasmussen +5. That's sure. And then Quinnipiac has Harris +3, which is just not real. So, North Carolina is leaning, and we're at 290 now, and we're approaching 300, and we go to Georgia. Obama trying to get the black turnout up in Georgia. Fox News has Harris +3 from about a month ago. CBS has Trump +2. That's a fairly liberal pollster that's giving Trump the edge there. Atlas has Trump +1. This is another good poll that you want. GSG tie. Wall Street Journal Harris +2. And we can't sort of allow Trafalgar and Rasmussen to run up the Republican numbers, and then when liberal pollsters run up the liberal numbers, we can't just say no. That's why I'm very skeptical of Rasmussen and Trafalgar. But if we get a Fabrizio or whatever giving us a Trump +2, then that's fine. Wall Street Journal, Harris +2. We have Emerson, another. These are the polls you want. Trump +1. Trafalgar, Trump leads by 1. Trafalgar a little bit more reserved in their polls. They're not just throwing big numbers out there like they did last time and coping a little bit. Insider Advantage has Trump +2, another great poll. And Quinnipiac has Trump by 6. I don't understand why they do this, Quinnipiac. They're just like running up the Republican numbers, and I can't understand why. Maybe they are turning a corner and they're just being more objective. But Trump certainly leads by a lean margin in Georgia, and that means Trump leads 5 of the 7 swing states by a lean margin. That is what you want. I can't see a world where it completely reverses course and he loses now. So, again, for the middle of October, it's Republicans 306, it's Democrats 232. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Subscribe, comment, like, share, do all of that stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.